Hi guys, we're here in Halls of Lightning Heroic today, showing off some more Disc Priest healing. Halls of Lightning, from my experience, is one of the more challenging heroics, although still, I would say, easier than many of the heroics in the Burning Crusade was. We have a Death Knight tank here, I believe. No, I apologize. I guess the warrior is tanking. I didn't build this group. This is a group who picked me up out of the new Wrath of the Lich King Dungeon Finder. In here to do the daily heroic. Quest cannot be shared today because that is not the heroic. We'll see how this warrior does. Warriors, I haven't healed a warrior yet. The opinion on them seems to be rather negative, although there is some hope, I guess, for them, at least at low-level dungeons. I'm hoping they can perform well. I'd like to see a little more diversity in the tank pool, but we will see. I don't exactly have the highest of expectations. So far, they seem a little squishier, but that could mean a lot of, there could be a lot of different factors contributing to it. So here you see one of our group members was affected by that ball of lightning there that was stuck to them. I believe the idea with that mechanic is you're supposed to stand still, and it won't damage you. We'll see, maybe I'll get it on myself and I can test it. I don't want to give out false information. This is the first boss here. Halls of Lightning, a very pretty dungeon. I think the aesthetics of Wrath of the Lich King really step above the aesthetic of the Burning Crusade, and the work that went into the level design and the encounters is really, really high.
I am the greatest of my father's sons! Your end is come! Behold the fury of iron and steel!
Keep some shields up. See our warlock here using their demon form there. Really cool to see.
Defend yourself for all the good it can do! Flesh is not stronger!
There we go. So more damage, I would say, out of that boss than most of the other bosses I've seen on Heroics. I actually think that boss is the hardest boss in this dungeon as far as healing goes. Okay, yep, so I've been affected with Arc Weld, welded to the ground, and yep, damage inflicted while moving. So the idea here is I should stay still while that's on me, unlike the Death Knight is doing there. But that's okay, we'll keep him alive. Ooh, he did a little corpse explosion there, fun. So here, this can be a fairly dangerous area of the instance in my experience. These mobs put a melt armor debuff, which will decrease the armor of anyone that is affected by it, of course, and they also explode upon death. So if your group is killing too many of them too quickly, you can have some deaths happen. I think the idea is to take it slow and steady. You do have to keep yourself in combat because they do respawn. So you do have to continue to move through the area here. This seems to be about the right pace. I've seen a couple of tanks pull the entire room up to these stairs, and that will get them killed. Our tank also waited for their melt armor debuff to fall off and the group to catch up before moving into this set of mobs. I would say probably the most dangerous area of the dungeon there, although there are some tricky spots coming up. We'll talk about them as we get to them. We're coming up to the second boss. Over there, Vulcan. A little bit of trash standing between us. Nice to take this left side to clear up, because over here is the path to continue onto the instance. Saves you a little bit of time, means you have to clear a little less trash. I do believe these trash mobs cleave as well.
You have destroyed my children.
We use our Shadow Feint here to get ourselves back up to full mana. Disc seems fairly mana efficient.
Nothing is wasted.
1, 2, 3, summon, please. Where did it go? Looks like there's a dispellable debuff, as well as these adds get summoned from this anvil here. Ideally, your tank should be picking those up. Not sure where that ad is going. Can runs to his anvil and spawn a couple more ads there.
My work undone.
Interesting. I'm not sure what those ads do. I've always seen the tanks just pick them up. Oh, well, they despawned anyway, but they pulled those mobs over there. Something to keep note of.
To be concerned.
Ebon Gargoyle summoned by our Unholy Death Knight there. Looks like our Paladin's caught back up. Not sure what he went off to do, but that's alright. Alright, and we see as we killed that boss, another door opened over here. I'm going to throw a Fear Ward on myself. These mobs do fear. Not all of these come to life, just certain ones. Don't pull too far ahead. Yep, there we see. If you don't pull more than one mob, it seems like the fear probably will come out late enough that you shouldn't have too many problems. Keep back though, because you can get feared ahead, and that would pull some other mobs. And there we all are. All got feared again. Snag a little mana. And there we are. Now we're past that little gauntlet there. Approaching the third boss now. This boss, not too challenging if you know what to do, but I could see how a group that isn't aware of the mechanic could run into some danger here. The main mechanic of this boss is he will dematerialize into sparks, and you need to sort of run away from those sparks, keep out of a certain range of them, or else they stack a debuff on you. That debuff will cause you to take more nature damage from the boss. He'll also, I believe, throw out sort of a bolt of nature energy that should be brought out of the group. Use my Hymn of Hope here, get a little bit of mana back. Probably use a potion here too, just to be safe. Should be enough for the fight. I should be power infusing the Warlock, most likely, but for the time being, I felt like I needed to catch up. Throw out a few quicker prayers of healing. Oh, there are those sparks. I wasn't doing a very good job of outrunning them. I wasn't paying much attention. You can kite them around in this circle too. Most groups I've seen kite them back down the steps. But there, my stacked up a couple more there, but only 2 stacks.
Master,
there we go.
you have guests.
Again, such a pretty instance, so much detail. Dispel on these. Attack speed reduce. Nothing too dramatic, but nice to dispel it anyway. There again is the return of that arc weld mechanic. I'm stunned. Hopefully this tank has got a cooldown or something to survive. There we go. He stayed up. Gotta be a little careful here. Have to take a little bit of damage on myself. Oh, but our Paladin friend is gonna get himself killed. He doesn't seem to be the most attentive here in this dungeon, but that's okay. We'll res him if we can get past these mobs. Our tank seems pretty determined to push on, though. Poison there. Looks like we've lost our Paladin altogether. We'll see if he comes back. But it'll display how I think these dungeons are quite a bit easier than what we saw in Burning Crusade. I'm assuming we can probably 4-man this to the end. Not a whole lot left. We're approaching the last boss. Let's see if we can snag some mana before we go into the next pack there. A little bit. Immobilized. love to get a little more mana. We'll use a potion. Save our power infusion for this boss. See if we can put it on the Warlock. We only need to clear one of these big Colossus. There's our Warlock. So this is Loken. Loken is involved in a number of the quests in the Storm Peaks. He has a troubled history with the Keepers of Ulduar.
Hope is there for you. Narnia, the foolishness of mortals has remained the only constant. Your presence here confirms this.
Went ahead and power infusioned our Warlock there. The idea with Loken, yep, when he casts this Lightning Nova, you should really hide. Especially not having a full group, I think that would have been smart to do, but that's okay. Warlock tried, and I managed to get behind it. That might have gotten to the other one, I'm not sure.
Can you not see where this path leads?
There we go, Lightning Nova again.
You cross the precipice of oblivion.
Use our Hymn of Hope. Powerful, powerful healing cooldown there. Helped bring the group through. Alright, and that's the end. There's a little jump down ledge there if you want to return to the start. Thanks for coming along, guys.